Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Late Nite Magic. I am Gene FitzMagic, joined as always with my compañero, Piano Rob. What's up, my man?
How you doing, Jeannie? What's going on?
I'm all right. We got a cool guest in today. Very, very funny comedian. Derek Gaines is in the house. I can't wait to speak to him. You may know him from The Last OG and a few other projects and other shows, and awesome stand-up comedian too. So I'm excited to talk to him.
Dude, we
love having the comedians in the house, man.
I know, and you know what's funny, and I always say it's like it's never any pressure on them. They're just always fun guests. Like they don't have to, even if, like they have the most interesting stories. They're such quick-witted people. Whether whether you try to be or not, it's just they're the most funniest.
Exactly. So I don't know how's everything going with you over there.
Dude, the summer gets. I can't believe how busy this summer is. I feel like I say that though every summer. I think it's not gonna be, and it is.
Yeah, I think the show is also, the fact that we do the show a little bit more now too has been a little bit chaotic. We've talked about that before. We got a lot of stuff coming up, I'm excited about the moving forward of things. What's up?
I got news since we're on this topic, and like Orlando was just ranked like the sweatiest city in the United States. Did you see? I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see it, but it makes sense.
It is. It's a real thing. I'm not making that up. I don't know when this is airing compared to when we're filming it now. I feel like it might be a month later that you're seeing this, but rightfully so. I mean, it's just humid and awful. So I just want to sit in the house in the air conditioning. I don't want to go out I'll go out in September. Wake me up in September.
But what about all of those rides at the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? You're gonna miss out on a month.
No, I mean that's why I trek out. I put the sunscreen on. I set the alarm and I go.
There you go. All right. Well, guys, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have our guest in the house, Derek Gaines.
Cute. Oh, Winnie the Cute. Rawr, Jurassic Cute. You're not trash. You're cute. This is Sammy. Sammy loves Disney ears. She loves ears so much, she makes her own. Yeah, 3D ears. Want to see her do it? Let's check it out. Here she's making bows. Here she also makes ears. And sometimes she makes ears with bows. Any kind you want. People have been seeing her with her ears and they're saying, hey, can I get me some ears? Pow, yeah, you can. Here you go. Now Sammy's making ears for any occasions. Ears for dogs. Ears for spooky stuff. You name it. Ears for any occasion. And it's all happening at JSA Creations. JSA Creations. Just ask for Sammy.
JSA Creations, just go ask for Sammy. Guys, very, very funny comedian coming up. Let's welcome him to the show, Derek Gaines. What's up, my man?
How's it going?
Excited. We said before, we say it all the time. Our favorite guests all the time are comedians because if it's you just make everything is funny and funny is funny. And this is one of those interviews that I've been looking forward to all week. So glad to have you in the house.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So one of the first questions I always love to ask every comedian is, were you always funny as a kid? Were you like the class clown?
Sort of. Yeah, I kind of adopted into class clown because I wasn't allowed to fight due to expulsion. So instead of fighting, my mom was like, you better figure out another can I curse this joint? I don't know.
Try not to, but it happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
You better figure out another way because if you get expelled, I'm going to kill you. So I had to really learn how to fight with words. And then luckily for me, my words turned funny.
Yeah. Hey, there's that might be the quickest lesson we've ever gotten on one of these shows right there. That's what a better way.
So born in Cali, raised in Philly. I guess the opposite of the Fresh Prince. Did you move in with a rich uncle lawyer in Philly?
Well, actually, I'm the seed of Air Force brats. My folks met in the Air Force, and then they divorced, and I went to Philly with my mom after a while, and then lived in like suburban areas for a very long time. But my mom did okay. She did very well on her end, but my dad also did very well. So when I visited my dad, I was still getting really pretty cool treatment. Like it was like nothing really changed. Like I went from one house to the other, but I didn't struggle on either side. So yeah, it was.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So not necessarily Bel Air, but upper middle class sort of kind of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, what growing up, like, would you say Philly was a good reason for you? Was it? I shouldn't say reason, but was it part of your development as a comedian?
Influence?
Yeah. Was there something like that influenced you from Philly specifically?
Philly is a tough town, man. Philly is a tough, very honest place.
Yes. That's their athletes.
So to get good in toxicity and honesty and the girls are mean. So yeah, you really gotta sharpen that tongue, man, and sharpen your tongue on the school bus, sharpen your tongue at the lunch table, sharpen your tongue on the way home, sharpen your tongue during class. But you got to be snapping because they'll get you. Because they
man.
Philly people swarm back in high school.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Ask the athletes too. I don't think there's a tougher city for sports athletes than Philadelphia, right? I mean, they're tough.
But you know, man, he hit the nail on the head because me and Gene are from New York originally. So we have those Northeast girls are tough. Like when I moved to Florida and started meeting Midwest girls, it's like they're kind. They're kind.
Very kind. Yeah. Kindness that I'm not used to. So I think it's already messed up. I'm like, why is she being so nice? I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like the customer service at Chick-fil-A. It's tricky. Like it's like culty almost. Like y'all too good. Like something's up. I don't
right.
Yeah,
you're right. When did you segue from just being a funny guy on the school bus to not getting into fistfights to getting into stand-up comedian, being a stand-up comedian? When did that kind of transfer where you're like, hey, I think I can go on stage and do this?
Well, lo and behold, in high school, I started getting good at the snaps because I was watching like reruns of Def Jam and all that. And through college, I was funny. So it went from translated from high school, and I was kind of, I was quirky and quippy in college.
Yeah.
So in college, there's more. You in the city. You actually in Philly. I went to University of the Arts. I was a jazz school dropout. True story. And a lot of my jazz classmates was like, yo, you kind of funny. You hold it down with the giggles in class. You should go try that at an open mic. Where that little dude from Paper Soldiers, they talking about Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Where that little dude from Paper Soldiers, he came from that club. It's called the Laugh House. It's on 2nd and Front down South Street. I was like, all right, I'll try it out. So when I got out of my first year of college, the day after I turned 19, I went and checked out the open mic. And then after that, it was a wrap. I dropped out of college and everything and got on there.
You found your calling, man. You were there. And
it made too much sense. It just made too much sense when I got on the mic. Like
I was
feel natural.
How did you know? Like in that, like when was that thing that clicked? Like this is it.
All right. When I bombed, it wasn't the end of the world. Because I didn't do good. Like the story's not like, oh, I went up and they threw dubs. No. I ate a dick. But it was so like it wasn't as humbling as I thought it was going to be. I was like, well, that's it? That's all the bomb is? They make it think like it's the end of the world. Yeah. And I wound up just getting back on stage, mess up, not mess up. It was okay because, you're an open micer. This is when you can afford to lose when you're open micer because they're not going to remember you. So,
yes.
Yeah,
you got to work on your craft.
Yeah, it was a good time. So I spent 5 years in Philly, then moved to New York in 2009, late 2008, early 2009, and been here ever since.
Wow.
Nice. Now, who's a comedian that inspired you at a young age to do this? Is there someone that you looked at like growing up or even in the beginning of your career?
Well, I guess the bug, I got bit by the bug when I watched Chris Rock's Bigger and Blacker.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't understand how he was already getting a standing ovation before he even said anything. So I was like, what? They was already cheering for him before he even talked. And then when he started talking, my God. So I was like, how do you do something like that? Because, I've been to church before and seen the preacher preach, or I've been to certain venues or just at a youth group meeting. People stand on the stage and talk, and people just agree, but people don't laugh like that. People don't jump out their seat. People be graduating, like throwing boots and hats. You go, how do you do that? I've seen it on Def Jam, and I knew it was a Def Jam thing. But when you by yourself for an hour, like how do you?
Yeah.
So that happened. And lo and behold, the year right after that, thank God, when I was 14, I saw Chris Rock. So when I turned 15, year 2000, Dave Chappelle came out with Killing Him Softly, and I was like, oh, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like how do you do this? I don't want to do anything else, because the response these two gentlemen are getting off shit they just wrote down is throwing me off. Like, this is amazing. So 14, 15, I was already kind of like the show off in school. Like, I was the best dressed. I was chatting to the girls. I was snapping on all the jocks because I didn't play sports, but I was the jazz head that was cool. Like, I knew I played the drums. So I had like a beat on everything above. Like, and in South Jersey, when you're doing some real city shit, you feel like you like got a superpower. Like, all right. So when college happened, and then in college I was already doing jazz, then to find a comedy club in the city at 19, now I'm living two different lives. So I'm leaving my mom's house, knocking dead back to go across the bridge to get into this whole city life where this is a whole Philadelphia scene. And the beauty about Philadelphia open mics, it wasn't other comics. It was real crowd members. So Temple kids was coming. Drexel kids was coming to boo you. North Philly was coming. Southwest was coming just to watch the new comics bomb. So if you wind up doing well, wow. Yeah. So it was like a gridiron gang when I first started, because everybody in line knew if you killed them at the open mic, the owners start to watch. They might put you on Thursday night. You might start hosting. So it was always something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very
Derek,
competitive.
I'm curious. Now, how do you think that might differ? Because this is before social media kind of was kicking as much. How do you think that would differ now for a new comic?
For a new comic now, well, new comics now, they kind of suck because they don't have there's no comp. There's no competition. I see new comics all the time tell all their friends from college to come to this little bar, and then they pack it out and they take pictures. It looked like they really doing real comedy in New York.
Yeah, and they put it online.
And then it's all TikTok clips. It's all clips.
Man.
So when you a clip comic, you only good for a minute. You only funny for 2 minutes. You only funny for 3 minutes. When we was doing comedy, you needed 5 minutes. And if that 5 minutes wasn't good enough, they kick you off in 3. So you really gotta write some shit, man. You really gotta go up there on your brain to go up against 30, 40 people that's signing up. And they only took 30 spots, but it was always 50, 60 comics out there. So you had to be here early. And then if you wanted your shot, you had to be the first 30. And then when you get on, you gotta be in the 15s, 20s to even get looked at. Because by the time 30 shots, it's late and nobody's paying attention. Crowd done left. So it was always a fight for that sweet spot. But now the sweet spot's everywhere. So what is it? Comedy is no longer a meritocracy. It's not a merit. It's not by merit. It's by numbers.
Yeah. Most things are. Most entertainment. Derek, I think you'll find this interesting. By nature, I was in the dueling piano world. So I've put my effort into my craft. I've played the bars. I know thousands of songs in my brain. You can shout out an artist. But these newer kids, they'll learn 10 songs. They got a video. That's their list. They can't do it, but you can't tell the difference online. So you have to find, like, even for guys like us, we got to find new ways to reinvent. No, you're good.
You're right.
We got to find new ways to reinvent ourselves to work in the internet world as well.
Absolutely. That's the tough part.
Yeah.
Now, was there a comedian that you met somewhere along the way that kind of like put his arm around you and kind of said, "Hey, this is what you want to do"?
Moving out there helped me. I don't want to sound like a sap, but it was a girl because I dated her and she was a comic, and she showed me what New York was. And what was great about it, she was one of them tough New York. Came from like Illinois, but moved to New York. So she'd been in New York, so she already got that mean New York lesson to her.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Look, I'm gonna only show you every place once. Then it's up to you to find out what else is out there. So she showed me every open mic one time. And she was like, this is what this is. That's what that is. This is who they are. And then she made it up to me to make friends because she didn't want me to look like I was just the guy, the boyfriend of the girl who does better open mics. Even though that happened, but she wasn't the reason for it.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Yeah.
And I think I love New York because of her, and I'll always love her because of New York, because I was like, damn, that's one real crazy way to get into the scene is by you fall for somebody that's doing comedy, and then you go out and start doing comedy because all the shit she showed you. Now, of course, things went wrong and went terrible because you're not supposed to date comics, but silver lining, she showed me the whole city before it was all done. So when that happened, I kind of went off on my own and figured it all out.
Yeah,
That's
man.
cool.
I mean, that's why we have experiences. We take it with us, even if we leave some people behind or, things change.
Yeah. So you actually competed on Bill Bellamy's the Who's Got Jokes. What was
wow,
that?
long time ago. That's 04.
Yeah, that's what was that experience like, and what did that do to help you move forward in your career?
It kind of gave me, how can I put it? Like it gave me the America's Got Talent with all the glitz, because it was like black produced. So they just got a spot in Vegas. We all got to go to Vegas for free. And I was competing against, just talented dudes from around the country. And I met a lot of my friends from Atlanta that way. I learned a lot of my friends from Chicago that way. And it was just a testament on how much you really wanted to do good. Because when you bombed on that show, you bombed. Everybody knew. But when you did well, they treated you like you did well. So I kept advancing. So I was like, okay, I really might have a future toward this, because I'm only in like my first year, 2 years of comedy, and I'm already doing competition shows on local TV. So it kind of gave me, I got a standing ovation on one of my sets. I had a terrible outfit on, but it was just like, wow, this is kind of like, I can get into this. Like, it wasn't like I thought about day jobs just to figure out how to support this, because it was going well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that completely. So how do you come up with your material? Is it stuff that life experiences? Like, what's your writing process like? Or do you ever go on stage and put it out?
For me, it's always great, because thank God I found weed late, so it didn't ruin me. I found it late, so I started smoking when I was 28. So my brain was ready to be opened anyway. It was like I was waiting for that next. You know how every 7 years they say your brain get bigger. And it does more.
Is that true? I didn't even
like that whole shit. But
it's not in your case, Gene. I didn't want to tell you.
I was gonna say I don't think. I think it went shrinking, but
yeah, but because when you run into people in what I like to call half-ass philosophy, because comedy is half philosophy.
Yeah,
it's somebody's philosophy, and then and then they have good ways about telling their philosophy. So when you come across these people, you'll hear all that stuff like, your brain and your mind, it resets every 7 years. So you hear stuff like that. So at 28, I was already four departments. I was already 4 rungs in. So I needed something else. So when the weed came, it was actually right on time. And it opened my mind up to stuff I never thought about. So when I started thinking about the stuff that I never thought about and try to apply it to what the things that were affecting me in life in New York, just living in the city since I was 24, and now I'm 28, and 4 years in New York was a smack in the ass. Like I fell off my horse plenty. So
yeah, man,
to be able to take all those experiences and now whip them around with this new high-minded adult ideas. And my whole thing was to stay silly, stay in the moment, stay silly. Don't get too preachy. Don't get too soapboxy. Stay silly. Anything that affected me, I would write it down on my phone, but make it like a premise, or make it some silly left turn and then go from that left turn. Or if something bugged me, like if I saw something in the street, like a bum did some stuff like punched a girl in the head or something like that, I write it down. Or something I was feeling, or I was playing Street Fighter, or I was with a girl and something funny happened, I go, okay, I should probably write about that. And if anything made a girl giggle, I'd always note it. I'll be like,
that's funny.
If anything made a girl giggle, I'll be like, all right, okay. She was
focus
laughing
on that.
So
was there a separate note in your phone for those ones? It
was just write it down, because if she giggle, I can get 4 or 5 of them to giggle. With that,
yeah. There you go.
So how many girls in the room? Because you want girls to laugh at your shit, because don't only like performing to a room full of dudes. So
yeah,
unless that's like a rally, like if you trying to get something going now, But no, I don't like torches. I'm just trying to make people laugh. So yeah, I need girls in the room for that alto soprano sound.
Yeah, let's face it. If a pretty girl is gonna laugh, a guy's gonna laugh too with her, right?
Yeah, absolutely, because he gonna jump off my accomplishment to keep the girl near. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah. When dudes bring girls to the comedy show, dudes got a mission, girls got another. The comic got a mission. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, and Derek, and another reason we love having comedians on the show, because again, we joke about it in Dueling Pianos. Groups of girls go to dueling piano shows and comedy shows. They go there for bachelorette parties. They feel safe. It's a safe space for them. And by nature, the guys are going to come because that's where the girls are. So it's a nice thing. Yeah. So it's a silly thing to say, but you got to keep the women happy in our business.
The women are an integral part to this show business. Yeah. So
yeah, man.
So what's some of your processes before going on stage? Do you have any like superstitions or something, or is there like something before you get on that night?
I used to have a lot of them. I used to do a lot of weird prep, punch in the air, and just the little prayers. Even though the prayers is good, but now it's like now that I smoke, I just smoke and go, what would West Side Gun do? And then I go, because West Side Gun is my favorite rapper. So I listen to a song, it's called The Narcissist by West Side Gun. And something about that song just makes me go, you should have this mentality going on stage. And it's just like, and it's real simple. All West Side says in the hook, he says, Dolce Rockabana. I mean, what did he say? Yeah, he said, Dolce Rockabana for a half a man. That's a $500,000 outfit. That's what he means. Dolce Rockabana for a half a man. Rock Nation brunch styled in Dapper Dan, right? The Jay-Z brunch, I had Dapper Dan on. People gonna miss me when I'm done with this shit. The kitchen keeps begging me to bag up grams. So in my head, I go, yeah, when you quit comedy, things will change. It won't be the same. So while you here, do it big. So they beg you to keep going on stage and keep making those jokes, still bagging grams. So I go, yeah. So that mentality makes me go, yeah. The kitchen keep begging me to bag up grams, meaning the stage keeps wanting you, bro. So don't.
Yeah.
So
and you got to keep
yourself. Remember that, motherfuckers. People gonna miss you when you're done with it. When you're done, they gonna miss you. So while you here, do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's great. That's just a great motto. That's a great motto for anybody, whatever they're doing. That's great.
So where was your favorite place to perform when you're doing stand up? What's the place that you would love to go to the most?
The Stand Comedy Club on 14th and Union Square, 16th. The Comedy Cellar. That's always those two houses. Those are two big comedy houses.
Oh, I love the Cellar.
Powerhouse comedy houses in the city. And then Caroline's is where you go show off, right? Yeah. Especially when it's sold out and it's not on your bill. Like if you open it for like a famous person and then you funny like them, you can just kind of get you get a lot of their fans by doing that.
Yeah.
And then because I've opened up for Bill Bellamy at Caroline's, Michael Che, a lot of people, and they pack it out. And then when you get to perform off they packed out crowd, and you're gonna do them right, that's always a good show off spot. Another funny place, I like DC a lot. The Improv is one of my faves. The DC Loft is another one. That's like a blood box. And of course, Brooklyn Comedy Club on Bedford Ave in Williamsburg. Every Sunday night. Every Sunday night I do a show with me and my boy Dave Temple. He's the co-host of my podcast, No Need for Apologies. And we do Black Ass Comedy Show every Sunday night. And it's a showcase of all the hottest black comics in New York. And they come to the show. It always packs out. It's this little 70, 80 seater room, but it's bang on the walls, crazy. So it's like a bucket of blood in there, but it's very fun.
You're making me miss that. I've been in Florida for like 17 years now. I miss that scene, man. Like that's what
with the pianos, right? Because from watching Roger Rabbit, I saw that dueling piano scene with Bugs and Daffy. It was dark involved. There was girls there, and there was drinks. I was like, okay.
So let's flash forward, man. You're on The Last OG, Jaybird from The Last OG. How did that whole thing come about? You get on, you're a stand-up comedian. How did it make that crossover now into TV and film?
Well, I started TV and film back 2015. I had a reality game show called Broke Ass Game Show on MTV.
Mhm.
And I did a lot of comedy hosting. I had to host and talk to people in New York City. And then when Viacom changed their presidents and pulled the show, when I felt like the show was headed to a third and fourth, I'm talking about pop culture type level, they took it. And it really made me mad because I was like, dang. And I was like, oh, man, I was making real money. And then they snatched it from me. And then I just got a weird taste in my mouth about reality television, like unscripted television. So I started getting into scripted heavy. So I was like, all right, I got to insure other checks because I wasn't making residuals from MTV because of Viacom. So now how do you insure the checks? Well, you got to start saying things on camera that they wrote. So now you got to act. So I started really dabbling in that. So there was a lot of luck have it. I got on a few episodes of Will and Grace, a couple episodes of this and that, whatever. But when I landed OG, Jay Bird was just so in my lane. I was like, I can play this guy. And plus it's a comedy and it's Tracy Morgan. I kind of speak Tracy's language. So when I auditioned, I got it like the next day. And it was pretty cool to be able to do that. I mean, to get on a show that had 4 seasons, because it's canceled now, it's done. But yeah, man, it was a good experience on just really getting acclimated with the camera. Even though I already was, but to do like series was pretty dope.
Now, did you know Tracy going into that series? Did you guys already met through the stand-up?
I already had met him because I had brought him up on stage a lot of places because he was dropping by, especially in the 30 Rock days. He was always out. He always had a new Lambo on the block, a new Ferrari on the block, and he wanted to get out and do some time. And so you see Tracy Morgan kind of bombard his way on stage, and he had such a presence because I used to watch him when I was watching Martin back in the 90s. So I was always a little starstruck, like, yo, that's Hustle Man. So to watch that, it was like I talked to him a little bit, but at the old stand and at the cellar, he stopped by. So I already knew him. So when it was cool to see him on the set, and he was like, what's up, little nigga? What's going on? Oh, shit, you from this. So it was kind of like, it was like that pre-rapport. I already pre-gamed, so this should be a good thing. Yeah.
You built up that respect. So I know, you've done a few, like you've been in some dramatic stuff too. Are you looking to get into some dramatic acting as well? Could that be something you want to do down the line?
Maybe down the line, but now I see comics doing it for real now. Like it's almost too trendy. Like you see Kevin Hart doing where Amy Schumer got a serious one. Everybody wants to take a step in a dramatic direction. I'm not really a dramatic dude. I kind of like very smart comedy writing. So if I can act in very smart, very witty, very left field comedies, I'll stay in that lane. Because, you know, they say comedians don't win Oscars, but they told me that in high school when they told me that Kunga players didn't win jazz awards. And I got a jazz award and a scholarship. So I'm sitting there like, I think the right person has to do it. Not to say it's me, but it might be me. To really get that comedy so good. There's a comedy out there so good, they got to give a nod to it. So I'd rather be in those instead of having to jump in the drama.
I hope that happens. I hope it happens. On the same respect, and I hope this comes off as I wanted. I don't care if it happens because it's kind of screw you. Like it's hard. Anybody, I don't want to say anybody can do other stuff, but comedy's hard. Comedy's hard. It's I don't know, you know, I want to say harder than drama in some ways.
I think so. I think so.
Because people are feeling one thing in that moment. If you're sad, if you're this, like you could pull that out. But comedy's specific to people, how they receive it and how they feel it. So it's much more involved.
It's also like, too, is if you're not funny, you're not funny. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you're funny, you're funny. So it's one of the things where if you're not funny, you can't do anything comedic. It's just not in your nature. You know what I mean?
Just don't translate. There's a frequency you have to reach. God, I hate sounding like a scientist with this shit, but it's
true. It's true.
There's a frequency. It's like jazz sort of. It's going from my jazz roots. You have to be able to get a reaction from a crowd, and a certain reaction you want is laughter. So now you have to write a premise, a bridge, and a punchline. In regular conversation, you don't have to do that, but in comedy. It's a premise. You gotta present an idea. So first of all, you gotta present an idea. Now I gotta get you to trust me. So now I got to segue an idea to a punchline. I gotta carry you through 3 steps for an hour or for a movie or whatever. So those 3 steps have to become some kind of rhythmic so I know to get that reaction out of you. So that right there, the chemistry alone in comedy is great. So that's why I say Anchorman, Coming to America, and Friday should have got Oscar awards. Because scene for scene, I was like, how am I still recharging from the last scene? It's so funny how this is working. Whack, whack, whack. Like how do you keep a person forgetting about sadness, forgetting about everything else to stay on this laugh line for as long as you want them to? That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Cool. So we do this thing called lightning lane. We're gonna ask you some rapid fire questions.
Absolutely.
You down?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Derek, what'd you think about that graphic? Was that not top of the line? That was
lightning would
yeah. Right? Didn't you feel like you were in a car just now?
I felt like I was in a car in a DC movie, The Flash.
There you go. All right, so we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna each ask you 5 questions each, back and forth. First thing at the top of your head. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Favorite late night snack?
Dunkaroos.
Yes. Oh my God! Thank you for saying that. That's so specific.
First time we ever got that answer.
Man.
Nice.
The last song you listened to?
Swing down, sweet chariot, let me ride. Parliament.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Mykonos.
Oh, have you been or just?
I saw a picture today. I was like, that looks fly. I was working on some girl's stories, and she was out at the beach in Mykonos. I said, it's
like that and Ibiza, man. Yeah. That's the 2 partiest cities in the world, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Favorite band or musician of all time?
Jay-Z.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right, so you grew up in Philly. You live in New York. So Philly cheesesteak or New York pizza?
Cheesesteak.
Ooh, really? Right. Okay. The next question: where's the spot to go? Everyone always I feel like all the travelers, they end up at Gino's and Pat's. But what's the real place? Like, if you're really from Philly, where do you go?
All right, if you're really from Philly, there's a spot, D'Alessandro's. D'Alessandro's is good. D'Alessandro's, as much as they say, I won't say Ishkabibbles, but I'll say gyms. Because gyms is where all the ex-convicts work. Yeah. So they put all their work into that steak. And then me living in South Jersey for half that Philly trip, Antonino's. That's the closest one to a Philly cheesesteak. And Gaetano's. Gaetano's, Antonino's. But yeah, Antonino's is crazy.
All right.
Gene, when I had that gig in Philly last year, I did a cheesesteak tour. It's on my TikTok. I'm going to find it for you.
I just.
D'Alessandro's is one of the best. If I ever had cheesesteak.
Yeah, man. I had Angelo's too, wasn't bad, and there was John. I mean, I think any first name that could be Italian has its own cheesesteak place.
But off the beaten path, D'Alessandro's, because they really take care of the bread too, and it's like, it's not a restaurant. You got to order everything outside, so they're in there just cooking, and they're just chopping steak up. It's like an army back there. So those are the few that I know.
Since we're on it, do you have a cheese preference? Do you like Whiz?
Provolone is pretty good, man.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Provolone is good on cheesesteak, bro.
Yeah. What's your favorite food of all time in general?
Spaghetti. Seafood spaghetti.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. What is one interest or hobby that people would be surprised to know that you have?
I collect Ninja Turtles.
The figures or like the comics? Everything Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but posters. Like that's like an originals 80s poster.
Yeah. Back when they were a lot darker back then, right? Those were dark comics.
Yeah, that's when they just had the red. It's just all of them had red bandanas on. Yeah, so that was before Turtles in Time.
I was gonna say favorite Turtles video game.
The one you're gonna be mad. Injustice. When you play Injustice on PS4, you can get the Turtles.
You can.
Each one that they fire on Injustice. God, like playing the Turtles on Injustice is great.
I was gonna say Turtles in Time. I still think is my favorite to play. Turtles in Time.
Yeah. I mean, it's nostalgic, but that style of game, I'm a fighter game guy. So when
you like a Mortal Kombat, like a back.
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. When the Turtles, the TMNT tournament fighters, remember the Turtles tournament fighters?
Yes.
That was good. That was real good. And they had you could do finishing moves and combos and all that. Yeah. So
yes. Yeah,
So,
and we used to have to get either the magazine or buy the book because we couldn't look up the special moves on the internet.
Yeah,
There
go
was
to
no
the book
internet.
or Game Genie. Game Genie.
Yes, a Game Genie.
And you look at Game Genie, and they tell you all the little moves, and yep, I know all that.
Yeah, if you're under 30, look up Game Genie. It was difficult, kids. It was difficult.
It was difficult. It was strenuous. It was a tedious thing to play games. Now it's all given to you.
Oh, is it me? It's me. What's a big thing on your bucket list?
Oh, the Manhattan apartment. I just want to move to Manhattan and finally just settle as the Black Billy Crystal that I feel that I am. City slicker, Manhattan. So yeah, that's coming soon. That's
I want
the nice penthouse overlooking the park, right?
Yeah, and then because
you
you move there and then you start moving up with apartments. So Park Avenue is the end. I'm that's where I'll rest at is Park Avenue.
I want to see that. Like Rolling Stone calls Derek Gaines the Black Billy Crystal.
Black Billy Crystal. I'm telling you, I'm gonna run New York. I'm gonna run New York.
There you go, man.
That would be great.
If New York is still alive, they're gonna be like, yeah, you can't really come to New York without seeing Derek Gaines. Like he's at the Beacon.
Yep. All right. Craziest thing a heckler has ever yelled at you on stage.
I got pennies thrown at me.
What?
Pennies thrown at me. And I remember one
That's not nice.
College. He asked me if I went to college, and I said no. He's like, well, you need to with that set. And the whole crowd went crazy.
Oh, I hate when a heckler. I hate when a heckler gets to laugh. I hate that.
Yeah. Oh, he got it too. It was he got him. It was a lot. Yeah, but getting pennies thrown at me. I got count down one time. I was at a birthday party bombing, and the birthday girl counted me down off stage. Like, you got to get the hell out of here. It was like, wow. So yeah, no, but things have happened. But but that's the game.
Oh yeah, it is. What's your favorite movie? What the one movie you dream on a little longer? Jaws. Yeah, I just watched it yesterday.
I watch that every July. That's like my
yeah.
The first
Jaws is one of my favorite all-time movies too, man. I love that movie. All right, so bonus question: best advice you have ever received, and who gave it to you?
Best advice I ever received was write prolific shit, get on stage, and get the out of my car. Patrice O'Neal.
Hey, that's an awesome person and awesome advice. Hell yeah.
He was the only dude. I asked him for advice, and he actually gave it to me. He said, write prolific, get on stage, and get the hell out of my car. I don't know why you're still in my car. Get out of my car.
Thank you for sharing that. It's nice to get something like that, direct, basically. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. That's awesome advice.
Because he was when he was alive, he was arguably one of the best. So to get that from the best, I was like, damn, I guess that's what you got to do.
Yeah. Gone way, way too soon, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So what's next, man? What do you got coming up?
Well, I got a special out now on YouTube. Pete Davidson presents Derek Gaines on YouTube. It's a Netflix is a joke exclusive on YouTube. Okay. It's like 17 minutes. It was a little 15. Like, I was supposed to film the best friends on Netflix, but I got a COVID test that came back positive, so I wasn't able to film it in LA. So the good people at Netflix brought their cameras to New York. And Pete was like, yeah, we'll set it up. So I filmed it at the Stand. It's out now. It's up at 23K views, and I dropped it like 2 weeks ago. So it's doing pretty good.
Oh, nice, Derek, nice. They joked about that in the text messages at the beginning.
And that's the character.
I'm remembering it now. Oh my God. I didn't realize it was real. I thought you were being funny. Real. It was real. Oh my God.
So if you go and watch the joint, that was from that text. So that's where.
Derek, I haven't had the balls to write him myself. Not that he would even care. Pete used to be my our waiter on Christmas Eve dinner at this place in Staten Island growing up when I was there. And I know I never told you. Well, because it's a weird thing to say. Like my cousin Mark is actually decently close with him, and who would have known Pete blew up like this? But so it's just so funny to have that memory. Like nobody, it's a weird thing.
Island?
I'm from Staten Island. Yes.
The restaurant he was at was supposed to be like something that he was like true to. The restaurant we did all them things at. That was like a staple in Staten Island. So because he was a waiter when he was a kid. And
I grew up. I that's where I grew up. There, the first 22 years of my life was in Staten Island. Great. So it's funny the people that have come out of there, because there's some especially funny people between Impractical Jokers, Colin Joe. It's like there's some funny people coming out of Staten Island. And we got to see Method Man in the mall growing up. Like that was normal. You're just walking in the mall. There's Method Man.
Wu-Tang.
Shaolin.
Wu-Tang. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, man. That's dope. Yeah, he's in Australia right now shooting a movie.
So all right, so look out for the Netflix is a joke special.
Yeah.
I just want to say too, thank you so much for joining us this week, man. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
I know we tried to set it up for a little bit and we had to push it back, and so thank you for making it, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I was running late on the job, and but two more things. Just make sure y'all listen to No Need for Apologies podcast on YouTube and iTunes and all that. Me and Dave Temple, and I guess I can't announce that last shit. I can just look out for something in December.
Okay.
Just
and
make sure
we'll pump all the
guys.
links
We'll have
in
the
there
mods
for
are
them to find you.
gonna put your links in anyway, so people keep in touch with you and see what's going on. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Derek, thank you. It was an honor.
That was great. Awesome interview. Thank you, fellas. Y'all keep doing
Thank you so
man.
much.
Doing piano. Fly shit. I appreciate y'all. Thanks.
We're gonna take a short commercial break.
Thank
When
you,
we come
Rob.
back, we'll wrap up. Thanks again.
All right.
Cute. Well, Winnie the Cute. Rawr, Jurassic Cute. You're not trash. You're cute. This is Sammy. Sammy loves Disney ears. She loves ears so much, she makes her own. Yeah, 3D ears. Want to see her do it? Let's check it out. Here she's making bows. Here she also makes ears. And sometimes she makes ears with bows. Any kind you want. People have been seeing her with her ears and they're saying, hey, can I get me some ears? Pow, yeah, you can. Here you go. Now Sammy's making ears for any occasions. Ears for dogs. Ears for spooky stuff. You name it. Ears for any occasion. And it's all happening at JSA Creations. JSA Creations. Just ask for Sammy.
All right, man.
What a cool dude, man. Cool dude,
Yeah.
very talented guy.
Yes,
Awesome.
very
so
funny
much
too.
fun.
And been in a lot of stuff already, and just getting the beginning of it, really.
Yeah.
All right, man. So what do we got with you? We got to check out the Facebook so we know where you're going to be at
Oh
next
man,
week.
yeah. Honestly, we are. It's so busy, but yeah, check it out. You can always DM me for the schedule. I'll give you the link if you don't know where it is. But yeah, it's busy. You can always come see me playing somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. And also make sure you guys check out the TikToks, check out the Reels. He's killing it over there. But again, we want to thank let's thank the chat. Let's thank our mods for keeping the chat fun, friendly, and safe. Let's thank all our subs for taking this journey with us. And let's thank Derek Gates for stopping by, man, giving us a few minutes of his time. We really appreciate that. And again, yeah, I love having the comedians on, man. They do nothing but make you laugh. But yeah, I guess let's say adios, man. Let's play us out. So guys, have a great today, a better tomorrow, and we'll see you next time.